I bought this dresser because of one weird detail. Take a look and see if you can guess what it is. I don't know if it's just me, but when I first laid eyes on this mid century dresser, the detail that jumped out was the handles. They just reminded me of a Mercedes car logo, and I thought it elevated the look of this rather plain Jane dresser. And I'm a sucker for an interesting handle. Well, this is cool. The whole mechanism came out. I was concerned that these would stay in and I wouldn't be able to get them out. The key is this to just go slowly so you don't break the back part. It's when you rush, that's usually when it goes south. Sometimes I glue down the veneer along the edges before I sand, and sometimes I don't. You just have to be very careful with the sanding because you can easily rip it up further. After I finish sanding the dresser with the 120 grit, I go over the entire dresser with 150 grit, and then the final sanding is at 220. Just like the body of the dresser, I use the same sanding progression from 120 grit to 150, then to 220 on all the oak veneer on the fronts of the drawers. This helps with getting a nice smooth finish with no swirl marks, as well as prepping the surface for staining. I sand the rest of the drawer inside and out to 150 grit, which is enough to clean up the surface and prep it for Howard's Feed and Wax, which I use at the end. I sometimes remove the bottom of the drawers to make it easier to sand, but in this instance, they were glued in pretty strongly and it would have created too many problems. You can see how the flecks of grain filler or whatever they put on underneath the stain that they had on this. I'm not sure what it was, but you can see it. And I'm not going to spend the time with a little wire brush trying to get it all out. So what I'm going to do is put a darker stain on it and see how that camouflages it. I'm going to try an oil stain because I don't want it to be really opaque. I still want to be able to see the wood grain. So I think if I use an oil-based stain, I have a better chance of seeing the wood grain through the stain. So that's what I'm going to do. I generally don't worry about painting outside the lines too much because I know that I'm going to go in afterwards with a sander and sand off any of the imperfections. You can see all the blotchiness here after I've applied the stain, and that means I didn't sand it properly. I don't know if I missed a grit or I was just rushing to get it finished, but I'm going to have to redo this whole side now. After the stain has completely dried, about 24 hours, I add Osmo Pollux oil for the top coat. In total, I add 2 coats to the dresser and the drawer fronts, and 3 coats to the top of the dresser just for added durability since it gets more use. In between coats, I use a Mirka Merlon pad to denib the surface before I add the next coat. You can see the difference on the left here of the 2 that I've oiled compared to the 2 that need to be done. Another redo complete. If you'd like to see the products I use for this transformation, be sure to check out the description below. And if you're enjoying these projects, subscribing, liking, and commenting really helps support the channel and lets YouTube share my videos with more viewers. Now enough talking, let's get to the reveal, and I'll catch you next time.